Hi, I'm Laura Stewart, board member of Impact 100 of Indian River County, and we are here today with Bruce Green, Assistant Superintendent of Technology at Indian River County Schools. And Bruce is going to share with us today how the school system has benefited as a result of the Education Foundation of Indian River County receiving a $100,000 grant from all of you out there who donated all the money. So Bruce, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Good to be here. Absolutely. A lot of people talk about a paradigm shift, and technology is one of those few things that really can cause that. And in education, for a long time, we've looked at using technology in the classroom, and we've done different initiatives to try to support teachers and students, but it really reached a boiling point in probably the last 5 years in which students had more access to technology at home, actually in their pocket, than we could provide on a daily basis. We have a standard set of technology in the classroom, 4 to 5 computers, and they have access to a computer lab. But students today are used to instantaneously being able to research something. If they need to know the answer, no longer do they need to go to a set of encyclopedias or go look up a dictionary, which is obsolete as soon as it's printed, as you know. Yes. They had that instantaneously in their pocket. So what the Impact 100 helped us do was implement a new way of thinking. And when something can change the way you think and the way you act on a daily basis, that's really, in my mind, the definition of a paradigm shift.
So how is it a new way of thinking?
Well, previous to us receiving the Impact 100 with the help of the Education Foundation, students were banned from bringing their personal devices, and even teachers. We didn't have the technology infrastructure to allow them on our network wirelessly to secure them. And
that's a big part.
That's a huge part, the security, as anyone today knows. And even beyond that, it was the thinking of what students might do wrong with it and how it might get them in trouble. So students would get written up, even suspended for having their devices out or texting during the day. So you would find, as in probably many schools across the country, in our schools, notices posted throughout the schools, no electronic devices, don't have your devices out, and you would see policies in our student code of conduct preventing those devices from coming to school. Okay. And what we realized is students were powered up 24/7 at home with the use of technology, and we were asking them to power down. We were asking them to turn off the way they communicate, the way they collaborate, and the way they research for 6 to 8 hours a day, and spend that time with us learning in a traditional method that didn't really impact them, especially from a student engagement standpoint.
And it didn't impact them because why?
Well, I think students, one of the powerful things about technology is its ability to motivate students, to engage them with tools that they're comfortable with. Now, make no doubt about it, my mom taught for 32 years, I taught 3rd grade for 7 years. An excellent teacher in the classroom is the #1 success for a student. Okay. So we're not talking about replacing a teacher with technology. What we're talking about is giving teachers now the tools to engage with their students in the way students learn today and collaborate. A lot of 21st century skills that we'll talk about are communication. What better way to communicate? Think about it. You communicate probably through social media, through texting, through emails. What if I told you had to turn all that off? And for your whole day, in your whole job, all you could do was talk to someone.
Part of me loves that because I'm a communicator and I love the face-to-face, but the thought of turning off my tech, and I'm 53 years old, it's very difficult for me. I find I'm constantly checking my phone because I want to see what's going on in my bigger world.
So what we believe is the best is a blend. And so that face-to-face teacher instruction, but giving them the tools. And also our standard technology package, I remember talking to a teacher about 5 years ago, and she was telling me how useless the 4 to 5 computers in her classroom were at a high school level, because she couldn't cycle all of her students through the classroom average class size of 25 students at high school, 4 computers in every secondary classroom. So they were very supplemental. If a student had to work on something, they could go over and work on a project. I remember talking to that teacher after we implemented what we call BYOD, or Bring Your Own Device, through the Impact 100 grant. And she had totally changed her mind about those 4 computers. She said, now those 4 computers are the most important computers. She said, because 80 to 90% of my kids are bringing their own device. They have access. Those 4 to 5 help supplement the kid that forgot it, the kid that might not have a data plan. So now 100% of her classroom had access to technology on a daily basis. So what we were able to provide through the district funding, along with what the students were already bringing, gave her a 100% digital classroom that she could have both traditional teaching as well as new and creative collaboration, communication, and research tools in the classroom.
Was it easily embraced in the schools, or did it take some time to convince people that this was the way to go?
You know, one of the things, the learning experience that I went through, and Cynthia Filardo worked hand in hand with us, and I really give her a lot of credit for helping push it forward. And she experienced the educational system and her son needing access to technology. So she really got the idea of how important a communication device was at school and
right.
technology and what it could do. And what we found is we had these pockets of teachers that were ready. And really it wasn't about age. It was about a teacher's willingness to open up their classroom and say, I'm not afraid that the students know more than me. I'm the facilitator. Let me open up the classroom. They can bring it in, and guys, you can bring your digital devices in and do research today. Okay. So those few pockets helped us lead the way. I think the biggest paradigm shift was working with our administrators, because administrators are responsible for securing the school, for student discipline, as well as academics. And
it's a scary world today.
It's a scary world. And for thousands of students on a high school campus, hundreds of students on an elementary, to all have personal devices was certainly a scary venture. So we had a few lead principals who opened it up. We made it optional in the beginning, and by the end of the first year, every school had opened up and changed their policies to allow students and teachers and staff to bring their personal devices and use them in the learning environment.
That's amazing. So what's next? What's the next challenge that you need?
Yeah, so the next challenge, the bring your own device has been a paradigm shift. The teachers have been able to use that to do research and to engage students, but it's not the complete answer, because students now are using a lot more digital curriculum, web-based applications and digital curriculum where they might need more powerful tools than their phone. They might need to really create and write an essay. They might really need to create a digital collage or a digital presentation. So what we're really focusing on in the school district now is the implementation of high quality digital curriculum and then providing the tools to support that. So I'll give you an example. Next year, we're very excited. We're going to, in collaboration with some state funding that we got, along with some community support through a local technology millage that we've had for 4 years to support technology. All of our 5th grade classrooms are going to be using touch tablet PCs next year.
Oh, wow.
And they're going to be integrating science, math, and reading curriculum together. So they'll be outside doing experiments and collecting data on weather. They'll be bringing it back, analyzing it on their devices. So we're really moving now away from the device and talking about the digital curriculum, and the device just becomes something you need to do that. So we're not focusing on that tool anymore or that laptop. We're really focusing on what do kids need to know and learn, and then providing the tools to do that.
So it really, the grant to the Education Foundation in 2012, we're really seeing the transformation.
Oh, it was the launch pad.
It's leaps and far beyond that.
Absolutely.
Sounds
it really
like somebody
was.
needs to apply for another grant.
I think it's about time to apply for another grant, and we certainly appreciate the support. And for the Impact 100 committee, really what was overwhelming to me was the fact that they could see that this wasn't just a piece of technology we're buying, it was a vision and it was a change in thinking. So for them to see that we were moving away from a writing tablet to a digital tablet, and I think that was one of the best analogies we were able to use with them, and for Cynthia Filardo to share her experience with how that communication device was able to help her own son, I think they got the vision of what we were trying to do, that it wasn't about a piece of technology, it was really about changing the way we teach and learn in Indian River County schools, and that's been huge.
And changing the way you think.
and changing the way we think about students accessing their personal devices, that we could leverage their own investment and their own tools that they're comfortable with to increase learning.
And we've seen it make a radical difference just with the
Absolutely.
students themselves already.
Absolutely. When I go into classrooms, you would be amazed. We'll have to take you on a tour sometime. When you
I'd
go
love
in
to.
classrooms and see the students answering quiz questions and polling questions, and the teacher has charts and graphs instantly on the projector as the students are answering, and it's all anonymous, but the teacher can see if the students understand or not. The student, even the shy students now can respond through their technology where they wouldn't raise their hand in the past. It's really opened them up to a communication tool to allow them to participate and self-judge themselves whether they understood the question or not.
Based on what they're seeing going on with the other students?
And based on the results. So when they answer and the teacher has the results on the screen, they can tell whether they got the answer right or not instantly. So they don't have to wait for the teacher to grade it. They don't have to raise their hand. They can instantly and privately judge their own learning.
Privately, I like that part, because you don't want the shaming
Absolutely.
to happen with that, so it gives them that internal confidence a little bit
It's
more.
actually opened up a lot for students, especially students in poverty, students with a second language, students with unique needs. Technology is something that can help level that playing field for them just because of how adaptive it is.
That's just amazing how far in just a few short years you've come, the school's come, and the students have come because of it.
Yeah, well, it started with a vision, with a grant, and with a group of people who stepped up and was willing to support our community and understand we serve over 15,000 students every year, 2,000 employees. It's a large organization, and for us to change our way of thinking just here in Indian River County based off of one grant, to me, that's the overwhelming part, to see our community support.
I love that. Any last thought you want to share?
We'll be looking at how we can apply for our next grant soon, and we really do want to say thank you on behalf of the school district, the school board, our superintendent. Just thank you to all the community for the support that you've given us.
And you just said that to everybody who's going to listen to this.
Absolutely, thank
So
you.
thank you for being here.
Glad to be here, thank you.